Torture is an act or a practice of inflicting pain on someone as a punishment or a tool of forcefully obtaining confession. This can include physical assault, electric shocks, threats, or even psychological through exposure to loud noise, solitary confinement, sexual humiliation, among others.
Of course, as we also understand cases of torture, that they come with a lot of trauma, a lot of mistrust, a lot of fear.
Torture is an offense and a crime under Article 24 and 44 of the Ugandan Constitution 1995 as amended, and on conviction it attracts 15 years imprisonment or a fine of 2.7 million or both.
The issue of people saying orders from above, I received orders from above, it's not a defense to a charge of torture that you are ordered to torture someone. You can still be charged.
In some cases it is obvious, the court can see that the person has been tortured. And where it has turned out to be obvious, the court has, in some cases, ordered the person to be taken back by the people who brought him to first go and have him treated before he is presented in court.
Torture by security operatives often happen during and after arrest, during the extraction of sought for information.
They called me for interrogation. That's when they tortured me.
Omuntu alikola mirimu jo oyambadde ID twambadde obujaketi oli navaayo nakuba batuni.
Mbadde nnonda engatto nga nziruka. Nangamba go okola ki wano. Nenjagala zikwata bwe nti nziruke nakuba omuggo wano.
Embagamba yenze.
You see, that beating, somebody can say, yes, please don't beat me, I admit. When in fact, he's not the one. It means that the real criminal is not arrested. He's somewhere and he will commit more crimes.
The torturing suspect is a common method of extorting information from suspects. It is said to be a denial of justice for mainly the suspects, but also plaintiffs.
Even if it's murder, even if it's terrorism, and the person is tortured, and he raises that and court finds that indeed he was tortured, court is supposed to declare that trial a nullity.
And of course, in some cases, such a case may collapse because there might be the evidence the state had, the prosecution had, and once it collapses, it means the case will collapse.
While addressing the nation on issues of security recently, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni condemned torture and warned the security operatives against the vice.
The use of torture is unnecessary and wrong and must not be used again if it was being used as I see some groups claiming in the media. These lazy security people think that the criminal must admit. No, even if he doesn't admit, but you bring the facts, the court will convict him.
Ugandan opposition, suspected criminals, and sometimes vagabonds have severely complained of torture, especially during arrest.
Torture consistently remains the most reported human rights violation of the years, although with a declining numerical count compared to the baseline year.
Torture is not a policy of government. We have defilement. How come no one has ever accused government of having a policy on defilement? We have more cases of defilement than we have cases of torture, but no one says it's a policy of government. It is a crime in Uganda which is punishable by law.
But the president's words were not matched up with actions of punishing, first of all, or even investigating, or even charging. Charge them and let possible evidence come or release them in court.
According to Africa's Center for Treatment and Rehabilitation of Torture Victims, an estimated 1,000 victims of torture are registered annually.
But of course, we also have had a significantly increasing number of people that come up and allege to have been tortured by people in private capacity, the civilians.
The Land Attorney General Chiriwa Chiwanuka says government in one way or the other tried to bring to book suspected culprits.
508 convictions were taken, prosecuted by this government, which you say does not care about torture. We need to work together to get this in clear perspective.
But most of these people who are being prosecuted are domestic people. We've not seen the torture that is decried is largely the torture of people acting in public capacity. Unarmed officer, prison officers, army officers, police officers.
Many times we have not seen cases being filed against the Attorney General, against the state. In those allegations of torture, they have only gone to talk about it in the press without bringing a case to court. And the court cannot help you unless you have a case in court.
Without clear evidence and facts against perpetrators involved in torture, Chiliwa Chiwanuka says, this makes it hard for his office to hold them accountable.
But to say there are many people who are being tortured around the country without telling me who they are, where they are, we cannot continuously rely on the continuous pieces of material you throw out on social media. It's not workable.
There are those who are simply playing politics. We don't have control about those who want to play politics. We do not want drama. We had this circus of people who were taken to Nairobi, accident victims being paraded as torture victims. So you discredit yourself.
But then, if you are not going to follow that, there have been some cases which are filed in court. There are cases in civil division where people are suing individual officers for torture. Those ones are not social media. There are cases in court. Many of them they're actually stalled there. But even if there were allegations, I think police, maybe any serious government official, would seek to investigate the allegations.
However, government is persuaded on not abating of any kind of torture in the country.
We requested the president to allow us, myself and the Attorney General, to address the National Security Council on the implications of the lawless actions of certain elements in the security forces. We are going to write to all interested parties, particularly political parties, to share with us all the information they have.
With the constitution and the laws governing torture, if everything is followed, legal minds say the patent vice of torture can be dealt with in the country.
However, we've not seen a change because, one, there's not been matched up with a will, especially the political will, to fight the torture. Secondly, even the judiciary has not come out very strongly in coming up with very stern punishments for some of these cases when they go, where people sue and get 6 remedies. They have not sent out very punitive damages.
So we have continued to also recommend is for the state to be able to ratify the optional protocol to the Convention Against Torture, because this one will be able now to strengthen our preventive mechanisms in the country to ensure that there is a body that addresses issues of torture specifically.
If the investigators do their work well, fingerprints, photographs, DNA tests, eyewitnesses, the use of other scientific methods, the use of dogs, the criminals can get convicted whether they admit or not.
Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.